Hello, wonderful people. Do you feel like emotions run your life? Like you're feeling stuck in your negative thought loops? Maybe your one bad feeling can just ruin an entire day. I get you. I was there for years. For years. Most of my time as a conscious person, I was enslaved to my emotions. But I'm on the other side of it now. And I want to help you get there too. Alright, if you're new here, I'm Cahir, and I'm here to take you one step closer to self-love. Alright, let's open with a Course in Miracles quote. Nothing has the power to hurt you unless you give it power. It's something I wish I knew many years ago, because I would give every negative circumstance the most power over me to hurt me. And also my mind was my biggest enemy. I was my own worst enemy, right? Like I said, I hated myself, guys. I didn't like myself. I hated myself. Even though I had moments to see like the goodness in me, my charisma, my way to make people laugh. I saw it, but it was little snippets. But not because I had this dark, heavy cloud over me. All right, and this is for anybody that feels like they have that dark cloud heavy over them. All right, I'm gonna share my story about how these destructive beliefs and negative thought patterns had a hold on me. All right, so I've mentioned many times in the past I had very negative coping mechanisms. I didn't know at the time. It was from CPTSD that I had a freeze response, and my freeze response was to dissociate from my body. Right, and the way I would dissociate was to binge eat. Secret eating. So, like for example, we used to have like peanut butter, like growing up. Like I know Americans, I know I'm Polish American, but living in the U.S. Okay, I'm not living in the U.S. right now. Okay, well I'm saying when I was in the U.S., there was we had big jars of peanut butter, because in Poland you can't. There is in Lidl you can buy like a big tub, but it's not as popular. You get usually smaller containers. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, I would eat it like ice cream, like this Jif peanut butter, and just and now I'm like, holy moly, I can't believe I did that. And then I'll be like, oh, why am I gaining weight? Well, also I didn't see how I used food as a soother. Right, it's our first really soother, right? It's something external from us that can comfort us. And that's not the relationship I want to have with food, right? I want the food to nourish me, to be my fuel, but not to be my comforter, right? Because that leads not... Obviously, I struggled with my weight for many years because of that. Also, I was thinking in the US how these pizza parties, right? I remember just growing up as a kid, I was like, I don't eat that much. I'm healthy, and then because those things my parents would say, especially my mom, she'd be like, oh, I don't eat, I'm super healthy, my blood is healthy, I don't eat that much. And well, let's just say the stuff she was eating was not healthy, and the stuff we weren't eating was healthy. Like these pizza parties that we'd have a lot more than, I don't know, like for basketball, we had a pizza party, and there's like a soda, pizza, and Chuck E. Cheese. Something is like kind of connotating food with I don't know, deep pleasure. And I understand food is great. I'm a foodie. I love food, but at the same time, my relationship with food was unhealthy, right? Consciously, unconsciously, and I would see how also. Whatever, but that was part of it. And I honestly, guys, I didn't know you could soothe your emotions or process your emotions. It wasn't until healthy gamer therapy that you can process your emotions. What? Or you could soothe yourself. You can be like, hey buddy, it's okay, I love you so much, you got this. I was like, what? Because before my emotions would just run rampant for my system. They would, like I said, I was a slave to them. I was, and then there's the toxic shame, like, you're not a fucking man. Man up, man up. Stop feeling those feelings. Push it down. Yeah, that's super healthy. Yeah, sure. Right. I'm going to get into that, but just saying, like, of course, like, I think there's a way to show up for yourself that you can, example, if I don't feel like working out, I'm going to work out. But to totally ignore those feelings, I think is super unhealthy, and it's part of the, because I'll get to that. But yeah, and so like I would just be these horrendous chemicals, cortisol, this stuff that would be in my system with these negative thoughts and beliefs. They would just run my life. And I'm thinking about most time I was stressed was during school and university, and I think the system is set up that way that you feel super stressed about nothing, right? But your homework assignment, turn in this essay. But no, I was like, I can't believe it, like, because I had such a negative self-critic. I couldn't have grace for myself and see I was doing a lot. I had AP classes. I was also some honors classes, marching band. I was into theater as well. I was doing all that stuff, and I was actually quite a decent student. But here's the thing: I didn't see it until now, but my grades were reflective of how well I liked the teacher. All right, how I felt during the class. All right, luckily, actually, most of my teachers in high school were actually quite nice. One of my English teachers he was also an actor, and he was one of the best teachers so it was a great, so very grateful for that. However, like, of course, I would excel in those classes when I felt respected, when I felt the learning environment was safe. However, it just took, one bad apple, one bad teacher, and my grades would plummet. I didn't see it at the time. Like, my honors biology class was this guy, Mr. R. I don't know if I should use full names, but whatever. So Mr. R, which is like he was on, I think it was his last year or last 2 years. He was an older gentleman, and he just did not care. I remember asking a question, and he just kind of like laughed and berated me, and I just felt like super unsafe. And so my grades really suffered because of it. Also, I didn't care. It was like biology was super boring, so I didn't have this emotional connection. And then it's, in my school, it's like if you're a freshman, you have honors, and you get like a C. I got a C. That means you can't be on honors anymore. So I got put down to like normal biology. I was like, oh no. But it was actually a blessing, because then the subject matter was easier, and I didn't have to, try so hard. But also, like I said, I was actually quite a good student, B's and A's. Luckily my parents were like super engaged about it. I don't think they even like checked it's like, it's the sitcoms, they check your report card. No, I don't think they ever checked. They're really kind of like detached, but it was more for me, I don't know. But yeah, so still a pretty decent student, but I had geometry, which I'm like, why the fuck are we learning this, right? And the guy, he was actually, this was his last year tenure, and Mr. Z, he did not give a fuck. He was also super rude, boring. I hated that class. I dreaded going to there, and that was the only time I got a D. And I used to, berate myself like, oh, you got a D. How could you? It's your fault. Of course, I know there's still like responsibility. I could have studied more or whatever, but actually, I went to an extra like study hall or something, and some lady, it was a very nice lady. She did, I don't know if they volunteer or paid, but she'd go over your homework, and she explained it like really nice. And I saw like an improvement on that assignment. I'm like, huh. I didn't put two together. It was just because she was just a nice person that was able to pass information in a better way, right? And I could see that also in my French, right? when I had to take French for university. And the thing is, all the most, like, I would say 90% of the teachers there were bad. So I'm just gonna just say it was not a good department. And also, like I said, the timing, Friday evenings to learn French, right? So also I just felt awful. I literally, after French, I felt like my life force was being sucked out of me. I felt like a vampire, just sucked out all my energy. And of course, so my grades suffered. Like, I never failed a class before. I failed. I had to redo it. And then, of course, the shame from my parents, like, mama would be like, I'm so disappointed in you. It's your fault. I don't want, like, if you're going for a challenge, I want you to just be like, okay, what's going on here? What can we do to fix it? What other fucking choice is there? The other choice, is to beat a kid when he's down, right? It's your fault. You're lazy. You're procrastinating. It is your fault, And maybe someone in the comments can be like, yeah, you got to berate yourself. Well, it didn't fucking work, because what actually worked is when I set the emotional goal and I had this fire in my belly. I'm like, I'm going to fucking pass no matter what. And then inspiration came, like, okay, we could find a good teacher, actual good teachers, italki, I matched with some amazing teachers that got me, honestly, like, to B1, which was quite good. If you knew how bad my French was, quite good. So there was a very increased improvement because I went with my emotions. I said, at the time, I didn't, but like, I could see, I'm a blessed son of God. I deserve something better than this. Help me find a way. And I did. This more, I'll say, unconsciously, but still. And I didn't see how overstimulated I was, right? I think we all have different temperaments. If you like going out all the time, peace be upon you, whatever. But I know myself now. I'm a highly sensitive person. I see videos too, like, if you're a highly sensitive person, you socialize once, and you 3 days to recharge. I'm like, what? Yes, that's me. And I used to berate myself. I'm like, why can't I be normal? Why can't I just fit in? I'm like, fuck that, man. If I need 3 days to recharge, I need 3 days. Like, come on. I was overstimulated, being surrounded by people, the noises going to the city, super stressful, Also, like I said, with the shaming of the coping mechanism. So if I was overstimulated, come stressed, and I would, like, eat. It'd be like, my mom would say, because we shame the form. This is the thing, why I'm making these videos, because if we're a disempowered man and we're acting out of alignment to our highest good that we know, like maybe we're overeating, we're playing too much. When I say playing too much, like ignoring your responsibilities, or using playing or YouTube or whatever as an escape mechanism, right? We shame the behavior. We shame it. It's like, oh, be a man, do something about it. And there's no grace. Grace cannot be entered there, right? This is why I say divine feminine. I know, but this is not for the people that are not into that spiritual sphere, right? The divine feminine, tapping into your spiritual side, your higher knowing, the Course in Miracles, right? We're always in a state of grace. And what grace means, infinite love, infinite compassion, beyond human understanding, right? Because the human eyes will shame the behavior. We got to get to the source, right? Because I'll tell you guys, this is what I would, shame myself for the behavior, but not getting at the source of it, right? Because when we shame the behavior, it's stopping your healing. It's stopping your healing journey. That's it. I struggled this for many, many years, because all we do is talk about on this, like, self-help sphere or whatever, is about the form, right? The physical, which is only the 20%. I'm not knocking action. I said action's great. But if you're not dealing with the inner work, the 80%, you're just going to be spinning your wheels. I know it because it's my experience. Yeah, I'll tell you, because when I was, like, in my early 20s, totally lost. I can't tell you guys how fucking lost I was. In the darkest pits of my mind. Darkest, right? Because, I was doing well, quote unquote. This is the thing. I was like I would say maybe above average student, a good student, good enough student, right? Like, I said I got that 1D, whatever. But, AP student, if you're in America, like this, like this college level, whatever. So, not like I didn't have all AP stuff, but okay, like I said, above average, I think. I was doing well, right? But then, I was like, I don't have, my parents don't have any money for college. I don't know what to do with my fucking life. I don't want to pay so much to go to get a degree and be mountains of debt. And I'm like, I hear people say, get a scholarship. I don't know, you get a scholarship. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm just like, I was lost because I know, I don't know what I'm trying to say is that, when I moved to Poland, because it was a financial decision in the beginning. I do think the Holy Spirit played a part in that to like get me out of this toxic environment from my parents. Also the food and everything, but I was just, I didn't know what to do with my life. I went for one day to a computer science university because that's what people say. Oh, you want to make money, go be a programmer. And I was like, oh fuck no, I can't do it. It's not for me. I'm not, I'm a humanist. And so when I was lost, I would play Counter-Strike. I played Counter-Strike with these guys from Iraq. And we'd play competitively, and it was kind of cool to increase your skill and all that. But I was ignoring my problems, my challenges. And that's the thing. And if I would talk to my parents about it, I'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing? You're disappointing me. You're lost." They would shame me for being a young 20-something, not knowing what the fuck to do with his life. I don't want that for anybody. I don't want that for anybody. And if you're struggling, man, I got your back because I know it. I know it. I'm here to instill the positive champion mindset, right? Encouragement. We can do this. We got this, guys. We got this. What other choice is there? Right? Because the disempowering mindset, it just made me escape. Play games. Right? When I was struggling with French, I play Frostpunk, which is a great game. I recommend it. And then, get shamed like, oh, you're playing games all day. What are you doing? Shouldn't you be studying? Which I understand. Yeah, maybe I should have been. But there wasn't the emotional investment because I believed I couldn't do it. I believed it's impossible. I can't pass French. It's too hard. I don't want to learn it. Right? Because we shame the behavior. We don't get at the source, but we gotta get at the source, guys. Right? Remember, inspiration means being in spirit, right? Because I felt dispirited. I was out of spirit, right? And this is to be inspired, you gotta be in spirit, right? Being in, like looking at yourself through the eyes of source, infinite love, infinite compassion. That's the only way, guys. Why I'm speaking my truth. I don't know what your truth is. I'm speaking my truth, right? Right? Because I'm going to tell you guys, why I'm making all these videos and stuff, because I struggled. I've struggled for years to love myself. I did. And there's always this part of me that's like, what are you talking about? Like, everything on the outside was okay. But like inside, like I said, hellscape, slaughterhouse of the mind, not the sanctuary of God. But I tried so many modalities. Like during my struggle of like picking university, I contacted a life coach, and she was okay. I don't remember what we talked about, but she identified that like I was very critical. I was very harsh, and I said like, I know, but it's good for me, right, to be harsh. No, it's not. If you're being harsh on yourself, please stop. Because this is from the split mind, right? Only the split mind would attack itself. And this is the thing. If you want to have this flagellation, you're hurting yourself, you can have it. That's what I'm saying. You can have it. I don't want it, and I don't think you really want it, right? Because we only hold on to beliefs that serve us. And I believe this harsh voice helps me. Bull fucking shit, right? It was just the inherited voice of my parents, right? But she helped me. She, spoke out loud, which I kind of knew inside. I have a harsh voice inside myself. That you're too harsh. But that was helpful. But I'm like, I don't know why I stopped working. I was just, maybe it was financially, but I was like, I don't know. But Then I turned to cognitive behavior therapy. But then on Fiverr, this guy. And then it kind of turned into coaching as well. It was like, what do you want in your life? What do you want? Like, I was still quite good. Like every step to empowerment, I think is okay. Like for example, he encouraged me to ask for a raise, in my teaching job. Because my brother Zadkiel was working in the same place. He was making 5 zloty more per hour, doing the exact same job. I'm like, what? That's unfair, because he was hired earlier than me. And he's like, well, I'll just go up and say, I write an email. And I can't believe I was so scared. But I was like, yeah, I did it and I got the raise. That's good. Also, he showed me, like, because I always wanted a gaming PC. He's like, Cahir, just put money aside, set a goal for yourself, how much you're going to work, put it in a separate account and watch it grow, and then buy it. And I did. I think that stuff is really powerful, having those systems in place. But then when I had my thoughts of grandeur about, like, oh, I could really build something working from home, like, he's like, well, you'll just be a small fish in a small pond, or like a big fish in a small pond or something. He inserted his judgment, which I didn't like, right? I think what he was trying to, get me to, I don't know, go out more or something. Which I think, like I said, it's okay. It's part of the journey of, like, obviously I didn't want to be isolated forever. However, that's only getting at the core. It's not getting at the core, right? It's the 20% inform, right? Like, go out, talk to girls. I don't know what your path is, but I'm just saying that stuff did not work for me. So, and I could tell, like, we're only doing, like, surface level things. I stopped working with him. Also, same thing. I tried, like, this Kane Ramsey course on life coaching. It was still good enough. Like, I still like this empowerment stuff, like, in changing the narrative, all this stuff. However, it was still getting, like, more superficial. Like, the guy I talked to, he's just like, why don't you get a job, Jim? It's a meme. I say job, Jim. Inside joke. Okay, but which I understand, right? I understand. It could be, right? Because even having having a job, you have more, like, financial stability. Okay, I understand. But I don't believe in giving advice. I don't believe in giving advice, right? Because it has to come from within. That's why I love healthy gamer therapy. Is because we don't give each other advice. We just ask each other questions to uncover the answers that are inside of you. That's what I believe is true healing, right? Just to, it's in alignment with the Course in Miracles, right? Because the Holy Spirit is the best therapist, and a healer just shows you where your darkness is, right? Like, what are you not looking at? So I believe it's more in accordance to the Course in Miracles. Then I tried hypnotherapy, and I think that got the ball rolling because it was more like the subconscious work. I really liked my hypnotherapist. He was kind of living my dream life. He also met his wife, like, on World of Warcraft. I'm like, what? Like, he was a healthy gamer, just like me. And I could tell you, like, in the beginning, I was very disempowered. Like, we did, like, how are you feeling about your life? And it was maybe like 4 or 5. At the end, I was like 8 or 9, honestly, because I still wanted to improve my circumstances, and my circumstances didn't improve overnight. However, I started taking more action about, after that year, I think, I started mixed nuts. So I think something was there for sure. So I don't knock it. If you feel aligned to hypnotherapy, go right ahead. But for me, the true healing, when I actually felt this huge shift in consciousness, was when I did healthy gamer therapy, and of course, like I've been mentioning, A Course in Miracles, the workbook lessons. The thing about healthy gamer, it came 100% from me. What does that mean? Like, I was just on YouTube, and I knew of Dr. K. I would see him from time to time, and then I started, like, watching more of his videos. I'm like, hey, this stuff resonates. I really like what he's talking about. Also, I just love the name, healthy gamer, right? Because gamers, we just get such a bad rap. Like, oh, if you're a gamer, you're a fucking loser nerd. I don't know. I mean, hopefully it's changing. But yeah, it's like, who's, like, this, like, it's not mutually exclusive. Like, you can be healthy and a gamer. In fact, for me, it's a combination, right? I have my VR treadmill. I do VR boxing. Sometimes, I can play a game on the treadmill. Healthy gaming, man. Right? It's like a combination. I love combining things, like with these videos, right? Gaming footage and spirituality. And for me, I saw that because CPTSD is a interpersonal change. I don't know if I'm using that right, but like healing with people, right? Because I had immense social anxiety, mental anguish, right? Just having this negative, tape recorder in my head repeating, like if I had an awkward moment, I'd relive it over and over and over again. It's in the past. It's over. I understand. It's simple, but until you actually get to it, like you're only torturing yourself. You're torturing yourself. If you could just learn from that moment, forgive yourself, look at yourself through infinite love and compassion, be like, okay, well, there's a faux pas. Like improv is all full of mistakes. Mistakes make improv, I didn't have that mindset back then, right? But like not healing alone. This is something I'm exploring, right? Even with just this small group, right? These mighty companions, and seeing other people that are dealing with the same issues that I did, with social anxiety, low self-esteem, and just saying it. Hey, man, I have a problem. I have low self-esteem. I have low self-worth. I have social anxiety. I just need some help. And this is the thing about guys, because I think, at least for me, it's like, oh no, I have to do everything myself. No, man. No. Like, there are people that are willing to, like, actual good people. In the CPTSD book, it says good enough people. That's really the standard we can have. Good enough. No one's going to be perfect, but just having good enough people, man. All right. And that's how I start healing. And now, part 3, right? Emotions as my guide. Right? So now, when negative emotions come back, like, I'll be like, oh, joy. I have a fear-based belief, some doubt. And I look at it through the eyes of curiosity, like, interesting. Why am I holding on to this belief? Where did it come from? Because as I see, this dark, heavy cloud is not of me, right? It came from my parents, right? The fear scarcity programs they inherited from their parents, and so on and so forth, right? When I see, oh, this is not me, right? Abraham Hicks teaches us, right? Emotions are just our guide. That something is out of alignment to our higher self, and we just work on it. Easier said than done, but as long as you have this awareness that they're not you, right? Because I used to identify it with these lower nature thoughts, right? I'm a piece of shit. I'm a loser. I'm lazy. What did it get me? It would manifest outwards. I would do disempowering things, right? If we identify it as a disempowered man, a weak man, we're going to manifest it. It doesn't matter how many cold showers you're going to take. You have to look at the identity, at the core stuff. I hope this makes sense. And now I let joy be my compass. I remember even just like asking, like looking for my purpose. And then, this is the thing about, like, I know it's like this big, what is my purpose? What am my purpose? But I remember just getting this download from the universe, be like, my purpose is to feel joy beyond measure and to spread that joy onto others. And I know I had this inability to feel joy sometimes because of this dark, heavy cloud, this mind virus that was inside of me. I inherited the mind virus, and many of my brothers and sisters are inheriting the mind virus. But now the thing is, the empowering champion mindset is like, we can change it, guys. Of course we can. This is the thing, because when you see the insanity of the ego, what it leads to, when you believe in this fear-based lower nature stuff, you're better than that, man. I say better as in, like, you are worth so much more. You are as perfect as God created you. You are a blessed son of God. That is your divine truth, man. Hold this in your awareness. And let's see where it takes you, man. And joy now, like I have this North Star, right? Spreading joy. How can I spread joy? And then Holy Spirit gave me this avenue of improv. And now I'm spreading that joy, like, around Poland, hopefully around Europe. Who knows? Around the world. And it's good. It's good to have a North Star, because before I didn't know where the fuck I was going. I know some of my brothers here don't know where they're going. But you are guided. You are guided. You just have to get through the clouds. You have to disperse the clouds in whatever way works for you. I would highly recommend meditation, whatever form it takes. journaling, whatever inspires you to just look at the clouds and let the light come in, right? Let the light be your guide. And like I said in this video, like positive masculine systems, right? I love working out. I love having healthy habits. This stuff is beautiful. I love it. Like if you have these strong systems in place, yes, having the masculine energy. However, do it with grace, guys. Because I used to, like if I set a goal to wake up earlier, and I wouldn't, I'd be like, oh, you fucking lazy piece of shit. Again, you're sleeping in, lazy motherfucker. Like, no, that's not grace. We have to be so mindful how we talk to ourselves, guys. I know somewhere I inherited that speak. That I said it's okay to speak to myself in such a disrespectful way. No, do it with grace. Infinite love and compassion. Like, oh, I slept in. Let's see, what can we do to, if I really want, is this going to serve me to wake up early? How can I reward myself? How can I make it the most fun, enjoyable way? What other choice is there? I don't want you to break yourself, guys. It's not worth it. No project is worth your peace. This is what I'm saying. No project is worth your peace. Your peace is paramount. Paramount. And all this alpha male bullshit that says, I'll just push through, be an alpha male, no emotions. Fuck it. It leads to destruction. I know it does. It led me to destruction. I don't want that for you guys. Because I closed my heart from emotions. I did. Because they were so rampant in my system. I had no choice but to close my heart. I couldn't feel the suffering of others because I could barely handle my own. And from the outside, it looked like I'm this unempathetic asshole guy. I wasn't. Not my true self. I wanted so much to feel for others, but I couldn't. I felt like there was a block of love. There was a huge block of love. This immense cloud. But now it's free. And I feel for others. And I feel for myself. I look out for myself. I look out for Cahir. I love Cahir. I love myself. I do. Because the Holy Spirit loves me. And the Holy Spirit loves you. I know. I don't know how you're feeling right now. And I know there's moments where you just feel like so lost and in the trenches of the mind. But the light is always there because we are made of light. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. May the Holy Spirit light up your path wherever it takes you. All right. Take care.